A very good morning, my dear students. Today we are going to study about the same chapter, the sixth lesson, distribution analysis. So far we have discussed in the last class up to wages, and I told you that in this lesson we study about the division of income among the factors of four factors of production, namely in the terms of rent, the terms of wage, the terms of labor, and interest and capital and profit. So these are the things we are discussing, and the first one we discuss about the rent. What is the meaning by rent? In economics, the rent is divided into three categories: A, B, C category. And first grade land gets more rent, B grade land gets a small amount of rent less than the first, and C grade land we told you it is the marginal land. So we study about the rent, regarding theory of rent, and we study about the wages, daily wages, weekly wages, monthly wages, yearly wages, and bonus. For the real wages, nominal wages. So we study about the four factors about the production, the terms of land, rent to the land, and wages, interest and capital. So we studied about the rent, about the Rigordian theory, and we study about the wages for the labor, and we study about interest. Now we are going to study about the interest. So the interest is in the payment for the getting the borrowing money from the bank, and the meaning, the interest is the payment made by the borrower to the lender for the money borrowed is called interest. Interest is the reward paid by the borrower to the lender for the uses of the capital. Interest is the price paid to the users of capital in any market. So these are all the meaning of interest. If we borrow the money from anyone, so we pay interest to that lender. So that is called interest. So why we are all studying about the rent, wages, labor and interest, profit. So these are all the things, the four factors for the production factor. So how far a product is and the last is come out to utilize, because it meets so many different kinds of factors in the factors of production. That's why in the distribution analysis we study in very deep. So the kinds of interest, there are two interests: gross interest and net interest. Gross interest is the total interest amount received by creditors from the debtors. Okay, the gross interest is the total interest amount received by creditors from the debtors. So gross interest is equal to net interest plus reward for inconvenience plus insurance against risk of non-payment plus payment for service of debt management. So these are all the gross interest. Net interest is only a part of the gross interest. It is the payment for the uses of capital only. So a good example for net interest is the interest payable for the government securities is called net interest. So there are two kinds of interest: gross interest and net interest. And we are going to study about next topic, loanable fund, that from the bank or from the lender. We are going to study about the demand for loanable fund theory. The loanable fund theory, also known as neoclassical theory, was developed by Swedish economists like Wicksell, Bertil, Holin, Gunnar and Medrol and others. According to this theory, interest is the price paid for the loanable fund. For example, we get any loans from the bank or we borrow the money from the bank, we pay the interest. So that's why we are going to study about the loanable fund theory. How far people get the loans and how far the interest is payment. What are the purposes of studying about the loan, about the bank. So according to this theory, interest is the price paid for the loanable funds. The rate of interest is determined the equilibrium between demand for and supply of loanable fund in the credit market. The demand for loanable funds depends upon, there are three factors. Demand for investment. The most important factor responsible for loanable fund is demand for investment. Bulk of the demand for loanable funds comes from business firms which borrow money for the purchasing capital goods is called demand for the investment. So the investments means the bulk of the demand for loanable funds comes from the business firms which borrow money for the purchasing of capital goods. வந்து பேங்க்ல கடன் வாங்குறனாலும் என்ன பண்றோம், ஒரு முதல் மேல கடன் வாங்குறோம், அந்த பணத்தை என்ன பண்றோம், வாங்கி போய் ஒரு முதலா நம்ம உருவாக்குறோம். We are going to buy the capital goods. So that the demand for loanable funds comes from business firms which borrow money for the purchasing of capital goods. Second one, that is called investment. Second one, demand for consumption. So why we borrow money? The demand for loanable fund comes from individuals who borrow money for consumption purposes also. But not only borrowing the money or from the bank, not only to start the business or to buy the capital goods, and also there is an consumption. So in the loanable funds, we are going to study about investment, we are going to study about consumption, and we are studying about demand for hoarding. What is the meaning for hoarding? The next demand for loanable fund comes from hoarders. Demand for hoarding money arises because of people preference for liquidity, idle cash balance and so on. Hoarded money அப்படின்னா மறைந்திருக்கக்கூடிய பணம். அப்போ வந்து நிறைய பேர் பணத்தை வச்சுட்டு என்ன பண்ணதுன்னு பதுக்கி வச்சுக்கிட்டே இருப்பான். அப்ப என்ன பண்ணுவான் பேங்க், those who are deposit the money, we will give more interest. அப்ப லோன் கொடுக்கும் போதும் சரி அல்லது மக்களிடமிருந்து பணம் டெபாசிட் வாங்கும் போதும் சரி, it all happens through via interest. அப்ப when the rate of interest is increasing by the bank for the debtors or for the deposits, so the people, they won't cash as idle, so they will come and deposit the bank or invest the money in the bank. So that's why we study in the loanable fund theory, studying about the investment, studying about the saving, studying about the consumption and studying about the hoarding money. So the hoarding money also becomes in action, it will be flowing. அப்ப பேங்க்ல என்ன பண்றான், இருக்கிறவனுட்ட பணத்தை வாங்கி இல்லாதவனுக்கு என்ன பண்றான், கொடுக்கறான். So that money should be rotated, the money should be in circulation, the money or the cash should not be idle. That's why the bank is a mediator, that's why the loanable fund we study. So through the banks, the money is get from those who are having surplus money through via bank, and the bank give the money to the public, those who do not have the money. அப்ப இருக்கிறவங்கள்ட்ட சர்ப்ளஸான மணி யார்கிட்ட அதிகமா இருக்குதோ மக்கள்கிட்ட அந்த பணத்தை வாங்கி பேங்க் ஒரு மீடியேட்டரா என்ன பண்றான், இருந்த அந்த பணத்தை பூரா வாங்கி வச்சு என்ன பண்றான், இல்லாதவங்களுக்கு என்ன பண்றான், those who demand for money or those who borrow money. அப்ப என்ன பண்றான், பேங்க்ல இருக்கிறவன்ட்ட குறைஞ்ச ஒரு இன்ட்ரெஸ்டுக்கு வாங்கி மக்கள்கிட்ட அதே என்ன பண்றான், அதே பேங்க் அதிகமான வட்டிக்கு என்ன பண்றான். So they will lend the money to the borrowers. So this is the circulation of money in the bank, especially we study in the loanable fund theory. What is the supply of இது வந்து demand for loanable funds. So there is in two sides, demand for loanable fund and supply of loanable fund. இப்ப பார்த்ததெல்லாம் நம்ம மூணும் பார்த்தது. Demand for loanable fund, that is investment, consumption and hoarding money, it is in the demand side. On the supply side, the supply of loanable funds, first one we study about in the supply, savings. Loanable funds comes from savings. According to this theory, savings may be there are two types, namely savings planned by individuals are called ex-ante savings. Example, we pay the premium for the LIC. We always give the premium or we deposit the money in the LIC. So the LIC premium and EMI payment is called saving. And unplanned savings are called exposed saving. The saving is left out after spending or exposed saving. So we supply side in the supply of loanable fund, we study about the saving. And next one, bank credit, BC. So the bank credit is the another source of the loanable fund. Commercial banks create credit and supply loanable fund to the investors. And also there is an bank credit. The bank credit is another source of a loanable fund. Commercial banks create credit, supply loanable fund to the investors. அப்போ வந்து ஃபண்டை பத்தி அதிகம் என்ன பண்றான், இன்வெஸ்டர்ஸ்க்கு அதிகம் கிரெடிட் பண்றான். So the people will come and invest the money in the bank. And DH, dishoarding the money. The dishoarding money means bring out the hoarded money into the uses. So as I told you, இப்ப மறைந்திருக்கக்கூடிய பணம் அல்லது ஐடியல் கேஷ், அப்ப பணத்தை அப்படியே வச்சிருப்பான், என்ன பண்றது அப்படின்னு. அப்ப அந்த பணத்தை என்ன பண்றான், it's come to use and thus it constitutes of sources supply of loanable funds. In India, after 1991, the public sector undertaking are being sold to the private people to mobilize the more funds. This is also called disinvestment or dishoarding. After next one, disinvestment. So these are all we are studying in the supply side. Supply of loanable fund, we are studying the 4 points, and we study in the demand for loanable fund 3 points: investment, consumption and demand for hoarding. And next one, supply of loanable fund, we study in the 4 factors: savings, bank credit, dishoarding. Next one, disinvestment. The disinvestment is the opposite of investment. In other words, disinvestment means not providing sufficient fund for the depreciation of equipment. It gives a rises of the supply of a loanable fund. So all the four sources supply of loanable funds is vary directly with the interest. The supply of demand for loanable fund, the supply of demand for a loanable fund. See the diagram, this is a loanable fund theory. The y-axis, it indicates the rate of interest, and the x-axis indicates the demand for money for loanable fund, and the supply of a loanable fund, it indicates the x-axis. So it is an, what is that? it is a demand, it is a supply. So L, S and LD. So the LD curve represents the total demand. This is the total demand curve, LD. LS is the total supply of loanable fund. This indicates total demand for a loanable fund. In the total loanable fund, the supply of loanable fund, we study saving, bank credit, disholding and disinvestment. So we study in the total demand or the total demand for loanable fund, we study bank credit or bank money, we study about the saving. See, in the line la parunga, the total demand for loanable fund la, we study about the bank credit. This male touch avudhu par, LD la. Arthadu, saving, disinvestment and disholding. That I have explained before that. And we study the demand for loanable fund, the 3 points. And the demand for supply of loanable fund, we study 4 points. That we are explaining through via the diagram. So the supply of loanable fund, we study savings, bank credit, disinvestment and disholding. The total demand for a loanable fund. அடுத்தது LS என்னது? Total supply of loanable fund. அப்ப இது ரெண்டு இடம் தான் என்னது? ஈக்குவல் ஆகுது. இந்த இடம் தான் வந்து ஈக்விலிபிரியம். Where the total supply and total demand is equal. And in the supply side, the supply of loanable fund we study. In the supply side we study about BM, S, DH and DI. And demand for loanable fund, we study investment, investment, and we study about disinvestment, and we study about the hoarding. So the supply of loanable fund, முன்ன நான் மாத்தி சொன்னேன், நீ என்னப்பா நீ என்ன கவனிச்சிட்டு இருக்கன்னு பாரு, உன்னை மாத்தி சொல்லி இருக்கிறேன், தப்பு, நல்லா கவனிச்சுக்கோ. இது வந்து என்னது? LS, total demand for total supply for a loanable fund, LS. இது என்னது? Total demand for a loanable fund. First we study supply of loanable fund. முன்னாடி என்ன சொன்னேன்? நான் என்ன சொன்னேன்? LD ன்னு சொன்னேன், தப்பு அது. அப்போ என்னது? We study about first LS, supply of loanable funds. In the supply of loanable funds la தான் we study about the savings, bank credit, disinvestment, disholding. அடுத்தது demand for loanable fund. First ஒன்று supply of loanable சொன்னேன், இதெல்லாம் வந்து supply of loanable fund, BM, S, DI, DH. அடுத்தது demand for loanable fund ல investment, இங்க பார், இந்த D ல இந்த டிமாண்ட்ல டச் ஆகுது பாருங்க. டோட்டல் டிமாண்ட் ஃபார் லோனபிள் ஃபண்ட்ல என்ன படிக்கிறோம்? ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஒன் இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட், அடுத்து டிஸ்ஹோல்டிங், டிஸ்இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட், அடுத்து ஹோல்டிங். So in the diagram, x axis represents rate of interest, y axis represents demand for loanable fund and supply of loanable fund, and the y axis represents the rate of interest, and LS curves represents the total supply of loanable fund. This is obtained by the summation of saving curve S, bank credit curve BC, இதெல்லாம் சொல்றாங்க, BM or BC, saving curve. In the supply side, in the supply side we study bank credit, saving, disinvestment and disholding. And in the supply side we study this, and the LD curve represents the total demand. LD curve ங்கிறது என்னது? A total demand for a loanable fund. In that we study the summation of demand for investment and demand curve for consumption or dissaving curve and curve for demand for holding H. The LD and LS curve intersect each point, E is the equilibrium point. இதான் LS, the total supply of loanable fund, total supply of total demand for loanable fund, where it intersect each other, here the point is gets an equilibrium. So at this point OR, the rate of interest, இத பாருங்க, OR is the rate of interest, OM is an loanable fund. நல்லா கவனிச்சுக்கோ, OM is the loanable fund, OR என்னது, rate of interest. இது original rate of interest ன்னு சொல்லலாம். The OR is an original rate of interest. அடுத்து interest அதிகமாகுது. Interest அதிகமாகும் போது, when interest is increasing from R to R1, the demand for fund or supply of the fund is decreasing from OM to OM1. நல்லா கவனிச்சு, very simple ரா. In the total demand for loanable fund, we study bank money, saving, disinvestment, disholding. இது என்னது? Total supply. Sorry, again I am telling the total demand. Total supply. In the supply of loanable fund we study about BM, bank credit, saving, disinvestment, disholding. அடுத்தது இதுல பாருங்க, total demand for loanable fund we study இங்க investment, dissaving and holding. இது rate of interest, y axis. இது supply of loanable fund and demand for fund in the x axis. OM அப்படிங்கிறது supply of money or demand for money or loanable fund, OM. At O or rate of interest. இதுல என்னதுனா, இத we can say that original rate of interest. If the interest is increasing from OR to R1, இங்க பாருங்க, interest அதிகமாகுது, என்ன ஆயிடுது, supply of money or demand for loanable fund என்ன ஆயிடுது, decrease ஆயிடுது. It decreases from OM to OM1. So this is a very a simple method about study about the loanable fund. So in the loanable fund theory, we study in the two sides, total demand for loanable fund and total supply of loanable fund. In the demand for loanable fund, we study about the investment, consumption and holding, and supply of loanable fund we study about the saving, bank credit, disholding and disinvestment. So that explains via diagram. So it has explained. So this is about the supply of demand for a loanable fund. Next one, the liquidity preference. Liquidity means what? There is an liquidity preference theory of interest and monetary theory. The liquidity preference theory, the interest in his famous book, The General Theory of Employment or Interest Money in 1936. According to Keynes or economist, he only explained about the interest. Interest is purely a monetary phenomenon because the rate of interest is calculated in the terms of money. Only interest also is calculated in the terms of money. So to him what? To Keynesian, interest is the reward for parting with liquidity for a specified period of time. So the liquidity preference means the preference of the people to hold the wealth in the form of liquidity cash rather than in other non-liquid assets like bonds, securities, bills of exchange, land, building, gold, etc. So liquidity preference is the preference to have an amount of cash rather than the claims against others. So why the liquidity means what? That wealth or the deposits comes like in the form of cash. நம்ம நிறைய சொத்து வச்சிருப்போம், நிறைய லேண்ட் வச்சிருப்போம் அல்லது பில்டிங் வச்சிருக்கலாம் அல்லது நிறைய இன்கம் இருந்துக்கலாம், இல்ல நிறைய நம்மள்ட்ட வெல்த் இருக்கலாம், ரிசோர்சஸ் இருக்கலாம். ஆனா நமக்கு என்ன தேவை? நமக்கு கையில பணம் தேவை. அன்றாட தேவைகள் நமக்கு தேவைகளை சந்திக்கிறதுக்கு we need the liquidity. Liquidity means the form of cash in the hand. அப்போ என்கிட்ட இவ்வளவு வெல்த் இருக்கு, என்கிட்ட இவ்வளவு சொத்து இருக்குது, என்கிட்ட இவ்வளவு பில்டிங் இருக்குது, என்கிட்ட இவ்வளவு ஏக்கர் நிலம் இருக்கு அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருந்தா நம்ம என்ன பண்ண முடியாது? நம்ம நினைக்கிறத நம்ம வாங்க முடியாது. அப்ப that wealth should be converted into becoming a cash. அதான் liquidity சொல்றோம். So the money should be in the cash in our hand. That's why the liquidity preference means preference of the people to hold the wealth in the form of liquid cash rather than in other non-liquid assets like bonds, securities, bills of exchange, land, building, so as I told you, gold, etc. And what is the motives demand for money? இந்த பணம் வந்து நம்ம எதுக்காக வச்சிருக்கிறோம்? நிறைய சொத்து இருக்கு, நிறைய லேண்ட் இருக்கு, நிறைய பில்டிங் இருக்கு, நிறைய வெல்த் இருக்கு. இவ்வளோ இருந்தாலும் நாம வந்து அந்த அந்த வெல்த்தை நம்ம கொஞ்சம் நம்மளுடைய அன்றாட தேவைகளை பூர்த்தி செய்வதற்காக நம்ம என்ன பண்றோம்னா we make a cash in our hand. The demand for money for three motives. இது யாரா இருந்தாலும் சரி, பணக்காரனா இருந்தாலும் சரி, போரா இருந்தாலும் சரி, அல்ல ஏழையாக இருந்தாலும் சரி, any people, the demand for money for three motives. For three motives according to Keynes, there are transaction motive, there is an precautionary motive, there is an speculative motive. மூன்று குறிக்கோளுக்காக தான் ஒரு மனிதன் வந்து தன்னுடைய வெல்த்தை என்ன பண்றான்? கேஷா வந்து தன் கையில மாத்தி வச்சுக்கிறான். அதான் நம்ம வந்து லிக்விடிட்டின்னு சொல்றோம். இந்த மூன்று காரணம், டிரான்சாக்ஷன், precautionary motive and speculative motive. Transaction motive, what sir? The transaction motive means in order to meet the daily day-to-day our wants. For example, if I want to buy a shirt, or if I want to buy a rice, or if I want to buy a vegetables, so we should have some liquidity in cash. இப்போ நம்ம கையில பணம் கொஞ்சம் வச்சிருக்கணும். சின்னதாக நம்ம என்ன பண்ண முடியும்? அன்றாட தேவைகள். For transaction motive, the demand for money. Next one, precautionary motive. The precautionary motive means unexpected expenditure. In order to meet the unexpected expenditure, if I am become sick, or if I am met in an accident, or if there is a marriage in our family, or if there is an unexpected events happens, so in order to meet that kinds of life, we need money. So the money we have for three motives. Transaction motive, I told you, in order to meet our daily today our wants. And precautionary motive means unexpected expenditure. So unexpected expenditure means what? I told you, if we may become sick, or if we are admitted in the hospital, or if there is any accident, or any marriage in our functions, family. So in order to meet that kinds of expenditure, we say that precautionary motive, unexpected expenditure. At the speculative motive, for future purposes. அப்ப டிமாண்ட் ஃபார் மணி, ஒரு பணத்தை வந்து ஏன் ஒரு மனிதன் டிமாண்ட் பண்றான் அப்படின்னா இந்த மூன்று காரணங்களுக்காக மட்டும்தான். டிரான்சாக்ஷன் மோட்டிவ், precautionary motive and speculative motive. Speculative motive means what? For the future purposes. For example, if the land value will be price will be higher in the future, or the gold value will be higher in the future. So we know very well that the price of the land, or the price of the commodity, or the price of the good will be very high in the future. So if those who are having more money, that people will demand now itself. அப்போ வந்து அதிக காசு கொடுத்து ஏன் வாங்கணும்னு என்ன பண்ணுவான்? இப்பயே வாங்கி போட்டுருவான். இப்பயே கோல்டா வாங்கி போடு. கண்டிப்பா வந்து எதிர்காலத்துல விலை அதிகமா இருக்கும் அப்படிங்கறத தெரிஞ்சுட்டு என்ன பண்ணிடுறான்? He doesn't want to spend more money on that. So now itself he buy. So my dears, for the three purposes, the demand for money, the people changes the wealth or bond or securities or the resources in the form of cash. That means liquidity. So we study about the rent, we study about the labor, wages, and we study about the rate of interest, and the rate of interest we study about the loanable fund. So in the loanable fund we study in the total demand, we study in the investment, this saving or hoarding, and the supply side we study bank credit, saving and disinvestment and distorting of the wealth. So this is about the loanable fund theory. And this diagram, the equilibrium between demand, money and supply. And demand for supply of money or supply of money indicates in the x-axis. See that there is an OI. The M2 is another supply of money. The supply of money is fixed. The supply of money is fixed. So LP is the liquidity preference. LP. LP is the liquidity preference curve. It is a supply of money. In the y-axis indicates the I1 is another rate of interest. So the LP is the liquidity preference curve, and M2 shows the supply curve. The M2 the M2 curve is the supply of money to satisfy the speculative motive. Both curves intersect at the point E, which is equilibrium point. Hence the rate of interest, if liquidity preference increases, LP2 L1 P1 LP2 இங்க பாருங்க இதான் நான் என்ன சொன்னேன் preference curve, liquidity preference curve. If the preference curve is increases LP from LP to L1 P1, what happens? The supply of money remains constant. அங்கதான் supply of money நம்ம என்ன சொல்லியிருக்கிறோம் is constant சொல்லியிருக்கிறோம். So the liquidity preference increases from கீழே LP to L1 P1, the supply of money remains constant. Again என்ன ஆகுது? The rate of interest would increases from OI to OI1. இங்க பாருங்க, the liquidity preference curve increases LP, இது வந்து LP, இங்க இருந்து என்ன ஆகுது? LP from LP to L1 P1. What happened? The rate of interest is increases from OI to OI1. அப்ப இந்த சப்ளை இந்த preference curve இங்க இருந்து இங்க ஜம்ப் ஆகும்போது இந்த rate of interest இங்க இருந்து என்ன ஆகுது? மறுபடியும் இங்க மேல போகுது. அப்ப from rate of interest is increases from OI to OI1. So numerical examples given above can also be used for better understanding the total demand for money. எப்படி சொல்லலாம்? the total demand for money புக்ல பாருங்க, பேஜ் நம்பர் 135ல வந்து MT plus MP plus MS, இதான் நம்ம சொல்றோம் total demand for money. So with that I will conclude this session. So in this session we study about the rate of interest, loanable fund theory, and the equilibrium between the demand and money supply. Okay, how for the rate of interest, how for the demand for money. So in this up to this I will conclude this class. Then we will study in the next class about the profit. Last topic வந்து profit. The four factors of production ல மூணு படிச்சிட்டோம். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் என்ன படிச்சோம்? ரெண்ட், land for rent படிச்சிட்டோம். அடுத்து wages, labor படிச்சிட்டோம். அடுத்து என்ன படிச்சோம்? interest படிச்சிருக்கிறோம். We pay, if we borrow money or if we get any loan, how far we pay the interest. அப்ப வந்து interest படிச்சிட்டோம். அடுத்து fourth last factor என்னது? Profit to the entrepreneur. இப்போ 4 factorsல வந்து 3 factors in the distribution analysis. How far the factors are involved in the distribution or in the factors of production? Deeply we have studied the 3 factors. With that I conclude in this class. Next class we study about the profit. With the profit, the 6th lesson, distribution analysis, will be over. The lesson will be over. In the next class I will complete the 6th lesson. Until then I will get your answer from you. God bless you. Study well.